To be clear, I'm still dealing with a family who refuse to apologize. And because I entered abruptly, and up until like August 2018 or further, yeah, I didn't ask for anyone help. And I still talk to my mother, even though sometimes I have huge fights. I call my adoptive mother, but huge fights. Uh, there's a lot to be angry about, but we collaborate closely. Not we collaborate closely, but we have an understanding. Uh, yeah, it's a psychology of people who always who always remember people who were supportive to him. What led us to August 1st, 2018? I wrote a business plan, which is called KASU, which highlights a Canadian business model that I am actually trying to build a bridge with it in Austria. Since I don't speak German that well, the plan in English is called CSE. That means C, Sweden. Then I have like an ID card, which is a Swedish ID card with David Cross or David Star in it. And Evelyn Steinberger-Kern, the lady, did not make a video in 2019. So it solely made it in that period of time of September 8, 2018. Not before, not after that, from what I could see. The plan highlights basically like the technical documents basically highlight 7 phases. I never gave this job to anyone. Again, I still have a family who try actually to say that they are right in all their endeavor. I have phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5, phase 6, phase 7 and phase 8. I do have all of that. I did not trap anyone. I made everything meticulously. I'm dealing basically with another type actually of individuals from other parts of my family whom I've not spoken with since an extremely long period of time. This sudden interest and basically a complete sabotage of my life and my acquaintances and other links. Simply like that. So I have this bottle of water and another bottle of water that I'm dealing with. I no longer need a psychologist to help me. I need not a judge to help me, but a prosecutor or an attorney general to assist to deal with individuals who contradicts me. Because basically I do no harm to the societies where I lived in the past. That's a clear sentence. Outspoken what led me to that. In July 2018, I got a phone number from Massachusetts. I called it. That gave me safety. Prior to that, I said that I've been working, and I did that. And it was the World Cup, and Sweden reached the quarterfinals of the World Cup. In May 2018, or prior to the World Cup, I received a letter from the European Court of Human Rights. Prior to that, in May 2018, I received the answer from the insurance. I did not obtain 20,000 kroners. I only I only obtained barely 5,000 kroners, which pissed me off, really. I thought I will find actually someone to reset, not to reset things, but like to do things actually correctly. Prior to 2018, I strictly and strategically listed that they are giving military equipment or other type of data gathering equipment or telecommunication equipment to people who are unwise and non-smart and too much of feminist basically. I'm not a person who believes that females are not criminals. Yeah, it's by experience. I bought this plane in Austria. I made it like I said. I brought a business model from Canada. Why do I bring Canada in the middle? Well, I have a family member who lived in Canada. I still have, I have my student energy card from Canada, or from Calgary, not Canada. It's just institutions, because I've never been to Canada, so I don't know how people behave in Canada. I think I met, it's like if they have like the same system as in Algeria. I think I met Canadian cops or something like that. But then it's like they're not in their control zone. When people are not in their control zone, it's difficult to see how they behave. Uh, how did I spend the summer of 2015? I had basically like work of moving things to things, and then I did other stuff. And I remember the type of yes. What did I do in 2000? Strategically, what did I do in 2000? In June 2015, I had actually too much climax of things. Therefore, I traveled to Norway basically. In June 2015, I did not have any visiting members. In May 2015, I did not expect any visits. In July 2015, it was the same case basically. I went there. I spent like 1.5 years over there, and yeah, I don't know who visited that place basically. And in July 2019, or yeah, now we are past July 2019. I keep actually try to make actually the talk very interesting while I'm doing this. So I traveled to Norway, then I come back, then I went to Paris. I visited a friend, and from when I visited that friend in Paris, I spoke via Skype to my to the family in Algiers, and both parents were there. I did not ask them to visit me in Sweden. I was basically very serious actually on elevating the standards of my life. What happened when I decided basically to tell the truth about how I moved on in life, or not to tell the truth, but to tell actually the past, what I have experienced in the past. A whole mess has happened. Unqualified people are messing with my life, and as I said in the past, they don't bring joyfulness to me. And since seeing this, I know it's premeditated actions, but now it's like it's seen live for the second time. In the second time it's seen live, it is seen live by a lot of people what is going on. But like the first prior to it was in 2009 or 2008, no, 2009. Yes, it was basically a complete blank. But afterwards, things were much more different. Things were clear. I highlighted everything, and I was not met with understanding. I was met basically in 2017 like with probably like a country defending me, or random people like in the street and the neighbors and other individuals basically giving me some sort of layer of protection. But then there was basically like too much greed, which has led me to not obtain any documents. And then I had all of this, and people have the psychology to seize documents that do not belong to the state. And when the Algerian diplomats or something like that get very pissed when this happened to their documents, basically. They thought that I do have a lot of money, and that's why basically the president speak with me. Then I was met with thieves, and I don't have money. I just have those cents that I have, and yes, it just basically went into like a trend of Fuben, basically. It's hard to explain. It's hard to deal with the psychology of these individuals. It's really tiring actually dealing with them on a daily basis. It's like, what have you brought this to me? And like, if you were quiet and did things normally, yes, I would have traveled and I would have done this. Then I contacted the insurance, then I contacted this. And in January 2018, when I was basically busy elsewhere, no, I did not have visitors, and basically I made like I made like Facebook videos as well as a lot of other videos. And I was basically met. It's not like jealousy or envy, but with criminality. And this is the problem is here with criminality. Is like there's like a difference between doing things in mathematical terms and doing things like in physical terms. Assaulting, theft, rape, and other of those stuff, yes. Tying up someone else and all other stuff are not logical things. But then I remember the psychology and the anger that I had basically in 2017 and in 2018. I clearly had no wish basically to travel back here in September 2017. But I was basically faced with individuals who just actually come up to light in summer 2017. And prior to that they've done nothing, and they basically is like, that's the thing that I don't understand. I don't receive any property to me. Why? Because people who are incompetent in their field of area or in their field of work so far have made the assessment that it is out of craziness and out of derangement, the way that I speak and things that I highlight, without seeing a thing about my experience and about my past. How to say things? Yes, when I was like at the university, the situation that I faced and a lot of other stuff. I did not receive things. I meet people who have basically some type of derangement. They seen actually a lot of things, and they show us a behavior which is abnormal, basically. This behavior is probably normal in East Germany, in Russia, in Kaliningrad, or in those places basically. Not in the places where we live basically. It's basically an international zone or something like that those behaviors are normal. But then I meet basically like a certain type of individuals, and the Eastern Germany psychology is that when someone do something wrong, it's the female who pay in terms of sexual favors, and that was actually wrong, because when Interpol climaxed, that was what I have seen basically. And then I've seen basically individuals who come like in that thought of mine to commit basically unlawful criminal restraints and all other type of crimes basically. And when I see basically the society and the youth outside, which are Algerians, the African youth and the European youth commit much more crimes, much more dangerous felonies than the youth that are here. Who commit basically felonies are like the people who exited from the university and who went abroad, and they commit basically electronic jamming, postal manipulation, and all of those other stuff. I've been working since I've been 15 years old. When I was 7, 8 or 9, 10, it was basically like a community service, like to learn things, and it was just not far away. And it was basically knowing the neighbors, and we were youth, everyone grew up together and something like that. So we were like, yeah. However, in later on, I was faced with something else basically, which is how to state this. It's like just noticing that, yeah. Because I remember, man, the work was simple. Basically, it's like my brother was there. That's 78. Because all the two other brothers never had a manual work to do in their that I could see, basically. With 78, I was working with him like since basically adolescence, basically during summer. I was going to the shop there, which supplied basically oil and treated oil from refineries and all those things since a very young age, basically. Then I exited from there. Then at 17 or 18, when I went to the university, and I'm faced with people who commit the crime, which is unlawful criminal restraint, and it's nearly becoming taking of hostages and prohibition of coercion or something like that. Because all of this led me to the year of 2017. Then I studied like 2 years or 3 years. Then in 2011 I shifted my focus basically to thermodynamics and solar energy and those things. I ended up doing a thesis on that. Then I went to Norway. Then in Norway I completed my thesis there. And in Norway I was told that, not because I traveled to Norway, I didn't know the reason why. I was just informed by phone, you have to cut the thesis in half and you have to write the thesis on your own. That really pissed me off. I did my job in 2 weeks. And I sent it 2 to 3 weeks, and I sent it. And I got my defense. But instead what I got like a delay for 5 months. And which was basically like a completely unfair situation. And at that time, I think it was not a world superpower, but world global power or world major power has allowed me basically to graduate. Then I simply sent my application like everyone else to major countries. They have done their legal assessment. The Swedish legal system is very strong, very reliable. They assess the entire situation for a long period of time. They have noticed that Mrs. that someone who works with discrimination at work and apartheid and from Africa, and I wrote things about Somalia in the UN, and I wrote things about this, and which all of that fits basically a lot of the base, or a lot of the Swedish base basically, or the workers who live there their entire life, and I was welcomed. Then it was that period of time when Russia annexed Crimea and all of those events, but it's not taken into account by a cop who work in the reception. It's called illegal seizure of documents. You need to go through all the legal authorities, not the top one, structurally, to basically be able actually to hold my documents. That didn't happen. A week they decided basically to seize them. They didn't follow like the procedures of like giving me like a part of the documents and I distribute around. It's people who do not who think that my links to diplomats are dangerous. No, it's like a country who has basically thought that all those links are too harmful to them because of sectarian beliefs that they want actually to showcase. I didn't wish to make all of those speeches basically. Reaching my conclusion, I called someone from Massachusetts in July 2018. There was a World Cup and Sweden went to the quarterfinals. I wrote a business plan called Kasu and I sent it to Blue Minds Company under the leadership of Mrs. Steinberger Khan. She accepted. I moved there. I wrote it in the 23rd of April 2018. I informed him that I've spoken with an Austrian there very lengthily, a man or a male student, and there has been like not explanation but clarification of everything, and it kept like of some sort of a climax basically. I did not invite anyone to my I did not invite anyone to yes I don't invite people. I went up and I get basically the situation like that, and it's people basically like behaving in a manner that it's not that they don't give me responsibility, but it's like they treat me as if it's like they don't give it's like the only person who paid me or who gave me something are people from Scandinavia, which is weird, but it's okay. But then I kept and it was a battle each year. It was each year a battle, each year a battle, each year a battle, each year a fight with this, a climax, and it was a lot of obstacles put by a lot of people. Then when they achieved success, it's like as I explained it on May 10th when I wrote basically to the police chief in here, asking him like he need basically to make like orders and decisions, and that his decision will be clear about the behavior that I've received from the past from officers. It's like I'm not like an undercover or something like that. I'm someone trying basically to go to. So I did all of that. I did have my extensive network, and it didn't diminish, but it didn't grow as well. It's like very limited. And yeah, so I've done my part of Sweden being like in the Security Council, and that was until December 31st, 2018 officially. And until then, I had all my privileges. On the 23rd of May 2018, I approached the Austrian embassy while they were heading the EU presidency, when Austria was heading the EU presidency, which are basically great things. And it's like basically like it's an extremely difficult system basically to do all of that. So in Tunisia, it's not like I can say it's safe or something like that. In my type of background and the background and the strength of the Blue Mites company and the people who are there like that involved, basically Mr. Steinbrecher, Karen, all those individuals. It's like basically some sort of negotiation, like Christian Kern, Mr. Kern. I think it's an easy job for him basically for me like to travel from Sicily to Austria by train. It's easy for him to basically make that happen, and taking like a boat from taking like a ship from Tunisia to Sicily. That's something I don't have an answer for. Moving in Algeria, in the entire state, it's okay. It's not like it's okay. It's like it's okay. It's like it's normal. But then I need basically like to start to work. But then I have like this strong opposition because with my nationality and with my background, solving a global problem, I'm facing like all type of criminals because Vienna is the most livable city in the entire world. I can't say I'm from there. Under legal terms, no. If I wish to make a complaint to submit to a judge, I was born from Austria. I disappeared in July 1994 from Europe, or in June 1994 from Europe. I didn't know that until I traveled to Russia in 2013. How could I say? I noticed the treatment that I had while people have different passport, that I have the same passport than me, but like different treatment. Then I had like some sort of a Norwegian interest, and Norwegian are too protective, and I thought that they have basically doing some sort of an investigation about manner in military terms. That was Norwegian side, some sort of fearfulness. And then I have not had the ability to, yeah. In Italy, things are normal basically. Up until while I was in Sweden, my favorite club was the club in the capital. It fits my background. The Vatican is not far from there. It's not like I dream big. I'm realistic, and we live in. When I imprinted this belief on me, one one core belief is Jerusalem, and that core belief I defend it. And people have done things which constitute against me personally, like to me and to the city where I live, things that constitute violation of the Rome Statute and violation of human rights. During my first year in Sweden, and during the year of 2017 in Sweden as well. The year 2016 I was too busy. I had lived miserably. I lost a lot of weight. I think I reached the 60s. At one point I think I reached the 60s in the harsh winter times. The students at Ambassador Room, who are Swedes, can assess that my anger have been displayed only after January 2017. Prior to that, they can testify that it was something else. From the period of time between March 2016 or April 2016 until December 2016, I was in a computer room where I had access to it freely, and a lot of people there they can say I was peaceful, and I was taking brain boosting pills, and if I played my card correctly, I should have spoken to a certain individual. It was like snowy. It was 6 p.m. It was a Saturday in late December or in late November. I opened the door. I was sitting outside and I just backed away. Before that, at that period of time, all of those people were simply like innocent individuals or still in their capabilities. Then in December 2016 or in January 2017, living in that country on my own, I learned a lot of things and I did never shied away from. I have my Danske Bank account and I value and I held tightly all the Danish values, and it's pretty high. It's really, really high. It's really high, the close relationship that I have with the Danish interests, which are all positive. I don't think that I failed any part of the Kingdom of Denmark in any way. So far I don't think that I have failed them in any way.